And we're live.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
What's up?
So, before we really get into things, I'll do some introductions, starting with myself. I'm Kai or Griff. You can call me either one. I'm the GM. We are going to have name tags at some point, but I didn't get to that in time. We'll go to my whoever straight across. We'll go to Link.
Of course we will. Hi, I'm Link. I run Link Sum of Adventures. I'm a professional storyteller, DM, GM, whatever you want to call it. I run games 7 days a week, and I'm super happy to be here.
And then down to Loki.
Hello, I am Loki. That's all I got. I'm Loki.
All right. God of Chaos, everyone. And straight
Accurate,
across.
though. Hi, I'm CJ or Tibbs. I will respond to either or. I've been a big player of D&D. I've been a close friend and player for Link for 5 years? 4 or 5 years? Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to play with Link again as a PC.
Down. Asti.
I'm Asti. I'm absolutely terrible at introductions. I have
That's
no
all we
idea
need.
what to say.
You're good. And last but not least,
Hi, my name's Blood or Jesse, whatever you prefer. Been a good friend of Kai's for a while now. Worked with him back in like 2015, and on and off player for his. Happy to be here.
cool. I guess I read my monologue now. Oh. All right. Welcome, one and all, vagabonds and wastrels, nobles and nobodies, tatterdemalions, tramps and troubadours. Welcome to a display without equal amongst the ever-spinning cogs of fate. Tonight I encourage you all to take your seats and settle in for the show. You may be wondering who I might be or why you are here. Please rest assured, for I am but a humble playwright, and you, my captivated audience. The cast is preparing for our show backstage, and we are excited to be the catalyst that transports you to the bustling streets, busy markets, and sweltering sands here in this exotic locale. Bursting with life, we find our adventurers pressing toward the first seeds of a grand adventure. Little do they know that they are but one piece of the ever-winding tale of this great and terrible city. As we seek to delve into this tale of highs and lows, glowing triumphs and desperate losses, I, Sir Griffinhart, will be your guiding light. Fear nothing, no matter how dramatic, for it is all but part of the great story, and you are its cherished witnesses. Welcome, my friends, to the city of Vonphian. So, we're going to start with Illimathri. You have had a pretty normal day. Your business is running quite smoothly, and you have taken it upon yourself recently to rid the city of your greatest pain in the ass, Harving Thrall. As such, you've sent out some missives, and the first person to respond is not someone you sent a missive to. An automaton walks up to your shop, and he introduces himself as one Gerard de Vitry, and informs you that he was sent by his order.
What order was that again?
I belong to the Temple of Ronmos, and we are here to keep the order.
I do remember sending out thank you for coming so quickly, might I add. I am waiting for a few more, so please come in. Um, my office is not too far away. And just make yourself at home.
All right. So you two get settled in, and next comes a familiar face, one that you've seen a few times in your somewhat less than legal dealings. It's a masked face, and one that rarely shows itself.
Ah,
Getsu?
I'll come in, and it's a pleasure, as always.
it's good seeing you again, Getsu. Thank you for responding.
I'm always
This is
ready to
a-
have a friend.
This is going to be a big job. I'll make sure you get your pay.
That's all I ask. He'll kind of sit off to the side in the corner. He's just eyeing everybody who walks in at this point.
Alrighty. And then who wants to be next? Raven or Graython?
All right.
You can go first if you
Go
want.
for it.
Up
Go
to
for
you.
it.
All right, so Raven comes in off the streets having seen a poster that says that there's a paying job to have bring down a nobleman.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Lathri, and you are
Raven.
Raven. Pleasure to meet. I don't remember sending out a message to any other guilds. Have you happened to see one of my posters?
Yes. I did indeed see a poster.
Very well. Come, sit. I think there is hopefully one or two more helping hands that will be joining us.
And I moved to sit in a corner. Not the same corner as the last person.
That's who's definitely
All right.
Sit on
behind you.
Getsu's lap.
Everybody in one place, please.
You just so
Just one chair.
you just hear do you hear a bang at the door? Yo, can we someone please make these doors big enough for my wings? As I turn sideways, push myself in. I hear you called for help from the school.
Yes, I did, and I apologize. Not many people with extra appendages come to my business, so my apologies.
I'll sling my gun off my shoulder and lean on it. Well, you have mine and Lila's help here. And I'll just stand in the middle against the wall.
All right.
All right. Thank you all for coming so quickly. As my notices have said, I have a job for you all. You will all be paid, hopefully very handsomely, from our target himself. I will just come right off the bat with it. He has been a pain in my ass and a pain in my business's ass for far too long. He has sent people to kill me, so this is going to be a somewhat dangerous job. That being said, money will be paid. Any riches that he has may be split evenly, depending on the budget. So, Harving Thrall is his name. He is a nobleman here in Vonphis. And he has made it a very stern point to go against everybody's wishes of the city and get rid of me. I have yet to work out the fine details of the job, but I'm hoping with all of us being here, we can work that out accordingly. Personally, I am not one for shoot now, ask questions later. So I do ask to refrain from violence outside of those except for Harving Thrall. He's the only one I want dead in this scenario. Other casualties will be unfortunate, but I would prefer to be avoided. Yes?
I'll
Have
try.
no worries from me.
I'll try my best. As long as we look at recovering some of the draconic artifacts that I've heard have been rumored at his estate.
Yes. There are a few, and I am more than happy to send them to you and back to the school for proper research and restoration.
I just bow my head and lean back against the wall.
It occurs to me we should introduce what everybody looks like.
That'd probably be helpful.
So let's start with Ila. Who's the
Ilmathri.
host?
Ilmathri is a 5'10", very thin, regal-looking drow woman. She is wearing a very nice pencil dress of sorts that is red and has trims of gold. Very long braided silver hair with piercing purple eyes.
Alrighty. We'll go in order that you arrived. So, Gerard, what do you look like?
Gerard is a 6 foot, a little bit more, 6 and some change. Automaton. His skin is made out of fine porcelain, and exposed areas reveal a strange mashup of clockwork gears, rods moving in like perfect sync with each other, as well as canisters where you can still see still functioning, very human organs rolling around. It's a bit strange, but he is wearing a nice, noble, furred cape of green, white, and gold. And he stands at attention, keeping an eye on everyone and the door.
Alrighty. And Getsu, what do we see when we look at you?
So Getsu is wearing a full white fox mask. It's got blue lines on it, and it's got a crescent moon right in the middle. He's wearing a blue scarf that goes all the way down to his feet. He's about 5'8", I think I have him at. And he's wearing a sleeveless crop top, black crop top with wrappings wrapped around his abdomen. And then he's got black pants to match that. And he has two big fox ears sitting out of his head that every time somebody moves kind of tilts this way and that. And he has long, dark locks, kind of like what I have right now. His hair looks exactly like mine, actually. And he's got one big, giant gauntlet that's on his left hand. And he always sits cross-legged
Cool, cool.
with two big
And-
tails behind him that match his hair.
Raven.
Raven is a tiefling. Very, very almost sickly pale human skin tone. Tall reddish horns, and is about 5'2", not including the horns. Long purple hair, the top half of which is tied up into a bun at the top back of their head. And he wears a long black overcoat over brown leather with two swords at his side.
Cool. And Drachelon, a winged one.
Draithalon Toothgnaw. He is by far the shortest of the party, standing at a whopping 2 foot 4 inches. Um, that being said, he is a kobold. He is a winged kobold. His wings just above his head and touch the ground, barely touch the ground, graze the ground. He has a longer than normal snout for a kobold, and his scales are bronze, like a greenish bronze hue. Um, he can always feel like there's a persistent something around him. You're not quite too sure what it is. And he will never be caught without his 22 rifle. Um, and currently he is adorned in not noble or the clothing of the school, but he's adorned in just commoner's clothing to not to be discreet.
Well, cool. All right. Sorry to interrupt the flow you had going there, Tibbs. I just realized that nobody knew what y'all looked like.
No worries. It also just occurred to me that I was a little quiet for our audience. So, if I sound better, if I sound worse, please let me know, and I will adjust as needed. But all right, back into things. We shall head out as soon as we figure out what our next plan, what our first step in motion is. This is going to take a while. This is a long job. So I appreciate you all for coming forward. Appreciate you all for your help. So she will sit down at her mahogany desk and pull out a piece of parchment, quill, and ink. This is in a sort of informal contract, if you will. Not binding per se, just a means of payroll, if it makes sense. And she's going to start making notes, start drawing up a contract before turning it over, placing it at the very front of her desk. If you would all sign here, please. This is just a routine contract saying that I am hiring you for the help of exterminating Harving Thrall and that I will be paying you once the job is done. After that, if you wish to continue to be acquainted with me on other odd jobs or anything else that me or my company wishes, you are more than welcome to, and if not, you are more than welcome to leave.
Getsu will walk up first. Do you have some ink?
I slide over the quill and the ink.
So he doesn't even pick up the quill. One of his tails will dip into the ink, and then he'll sign his name using his tail.
Nice.
Consider it done. And he'll go back to the sit down.
Thank you,
Just
Getsu.
just make my payment out to the school, as I'm here on behalf of them, and I'll sign my name.
Very well, I will have that noted.
I'm afraid I cannot sign your contract, Miss Omathri. I report directly to the temple, and therefore I am simply here on their orders to make sure that the target is eliminated and you all keep the damage to a minimum.
Understandable. She says, kind of annoyed, but understanding. You, Sir Raven?
Raven hesitantly picks up the quill and leaves a small scribble on the paper. An indistinguishable signature.
As I said, this is not a permanently binding contract. This is mainly for my paperwork. Keeping tabs on my finances, as business owners tend to do. So, with that being said, she will roll it up. She will stick it in a drawer next to where she is sitting. I don't, other than Getsu, I don't know what specialties and what, lack for a better word, abilities you have. What you would bring to the table.
Well, if you can kind of tell just by looking at me, I can be a surveillance and cover your rear from the rooftops or from afar, um, as well as some nifty powers I have gained from certain means I don't want to disclose. But it aligns with my draconic heritage.
Very nice. The marksman is definitely most welcome amidst my groups.
I'm skilled at traveling the underground and know my way around very well.
All right. Navigator is most definitely useful. Your temple, it's all focused on the balance, correct?
Radnos is a deity of fortune, of fate. I'm a trained medic, I'm a clergyman, and as I stated, I'm here to keep the balance. I'm here to make sure that casualties do not become corpses, and to heal as necessary.
All right. She will take out another smaller piece of parchment, make some notes on it before sticking it into her pocket. All right, so first thing first, Harving has been not missing, but he has not been at his manor for some time. Don't know where he has been, so we will need to find a lead on him.
I think you tell.
Thankfully, I do know some of the unprofessional routes he takes with his contacts. So, Getsu, I think we know a few people we can contact first. I'd say we start heading there.
Well, that sounds good to me. Let's be careful, though.
Um, Link, I'm going to need you to make me a D percentile roll as you're sitting in the room with everyone. Specifically, Ilamathri's face is just. There's something familiar about it, but you don't understand what.
Very good, very good. I have too many windows open. You said D100?
D100, yeah.
74.
All right. You're not 100% sure, but you think maybe before the incident you might have owed Ilamathri some money.
I'll walk up to Ilamathri. Miss Ilamathri, I don't truly recall where this is coming from, but any of my share of the riches we find once the target is eliminated can be rerouted back to you. It seems I'm in your debt.
I don't remember your name, Gerard, being on any of my loans that need to be repaid.
Would not have been. Gerard de Vitry is the name that was given to me by the temple once I awoke there. The life that came before it I am unaware of, but I'm sure one of those names is who I was.
All right. I'll take you at your word for that.
Very good.
And just so we're clear, Gerard, there is some there is going to be some shady business that goes down between here and the extermination of Thrall.
And I want to be clear to you, Miss Ilmathri, and all present here. I'm here to keep the balance. I'm here to keep you from doing too much damage. And balance cuts both ways.
I
I'll look
understand. I'm
I'll
just
up from picking my nail and say, Gerard, whatever we need to do, we will do for the pursuit of the knowledge that the school requires.
Getsu's ear is going to tilt a little bit at that.
I understand. I understand we all have our own goals with this job, and we all have our own expectations and limitations. I am not here to break those. I am not here to push those boundaries. It is a job, nothing more.
A job that will be completed. I assure you of that.
There is a car outside. Nice golden car. Please go wait by that vehicle while I make some finishing touches to make sure the business runs smoothly while we are gone.
Ma'am, if you please, I would love to just take my own bike, as I don't really adjust in cars well, you could say.
That is fine.
I'll take off while I put my sunglasses on.
Getsu will bow and then walk outside.
I will follow, keeping glances around the room as I leave.
May fortune favor us.
I have no doubt that it will. You guys, as you leave, you see me walk up to a tall tiefling and make a very small conversation with him. Please make sure things run smoothly, and if I need you, I will call. Do not worry.
If anybody is within 10 feet of me as we're leaving, you might feel a change of air as I switch my draconic auras to one of one of deception and persuasion.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Let's see.
All right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. This is your story. I'm just here to facilitate it. Okay, so everybody meets up at the car outside. The tiefling gives Ilmathri a curt nod and turns around and goes into a back room before you hear some orders being barked to hurry things up and get this shipment ready to go.
I climb into the driver's seat, and there's a couple of clicks that are barely audible that doesn't seem to come from the car as I sit down. All right, everyone in.
Just after the car turns on, you just hear a motor come from around the corner as I pull up behind you on just your standard old motorbike.
Love the classics.
Your wings have got to catch some lift when you're doing that.
I feel like I
speed
could
bumps as ramps.
I feel like I could, if I wanted to, I could spread them, or I could tuck them around me and get that aerodynamics, or maybe use them as a bike, or use them as like a spoiler on a bike.
Oh, there you go.
God.
All right. So there is a bakery not terribly far to drive from where Ilamathri's workshop is. That is known to both her and Getsume as a place where people can deal in peace if they request the use of the back room. And contacts have been known to frequent this place.
I'm going to look at Gerard and Raven. Leave the speaking to me, Getsu. They know us for the most part. So as long as you keep your tongue still and don't stir up too much trouble, we'll be fine. And I will get out of the car.
I'll kind of pull up my bike right beside you as you're getting out. I'll look at the shop. I'm familiar with this place. I kind of look over across the street on the roof. How tall are the buildings here, Griff?
About 25 feet. They're not too tall.
Ma'am, would you like me to keep a spot out for you guys while you guys are doing your dealings inside?
You're more than welcome to. An eye outside is always welcome.
Off that note, I will rev my bike and turn down the nearest alley and start making my way up to the roof.
All right.
I will head inside and kind of look over my shoulder up to where my new kobold companion rests on the
And
rooftops.
you might see a muzzle. You might see the silencer just poking out over the roof. They're barely visible, but you might be able to see it.
Cool.
And then I am wearing a set of blood gemmed earrings. And you guys see the gem start to glow very slightly. And I am so sorry. I already forgot your character's name, Blood.
It's you can just call me Dre.
Dre, you hear in your head my voice. If anyone comes in with a noble seal, or if anyone walks by with a noble seal, keep an eye on them. And then I'm going to walk inside.
Copy that, and I'll switch, and I'll take my scope, and I'll switch the canted sight over to the long range scope, and I will just keep my eye on that front door. Maybe doing like a 20-foot, 20-yard scan in front of the door on both sides every 30 seconds or so.
Okay.
If you don't mind, Ilmatri, I need to do a couple of things before we fully commit to this. It'll only take a second.
My eyes kind of squint.
I just need to make sure of all the exits of this place in case someone decides they would like to run.
Fair enough. Go for it. And I will approach kind of the head baker.
And Getsu's gonna instantly transform into his fox form, and noticeably his mask is still on.
Nice.
And he'll just kind of walk around the building to get in a feel for any exits that may be around.
All right. As Ilamathri approaches the head baker, it's a burly orcish gentleman he's got a broken tusk on one side, and he's just dusting flour off of his hands as he walks up towards the front counter. He looks at you and goes, "Ah, Silvertongue.
Hello.
Here for business or pleasure?
A little bit of both, unfortunately. Me and my friends like to use the back room, if possible.
Of course. There should be no one in there right now, and we're more than welcome to take your time. I've got no one scheduled for it, and can I interest you in anything to eat while you conduct your business?
I kind of look around. Yes, actually. Let's make it half a dozen muffins. Let's do variety and put it on my businesses tab, please.
But of course. And he turns around and barks at one of the apprentice bakers, and he's like, "Pack up half a dozen of the freshest muffins. None of this front counter bullshit for this customer."
I turn
Quick-
and look at.
Quickly, I'd just like to switch presences to the senses presence. Give me a little bit
Okay.
more help.
Okay.
I will lead Gerard and Raven to the back rooms of the bakery.
Perfect.
How big is this bakery?
It's
Like, I know you said it was like 25 feet tall. How is it like a normal local bakery kind of?
yeah.
Okay, so it wouldn't get you that long to look behind the building and then circle back around.
No, yeah, you'd be able to do it pretty quickly, especially in your fox form, where
Okay,
nobody's
yeah.
gonna notice you.
He won't even transform back into his normal form. He'll just continue into the building in his fox form, and he'll look up at the orc with a tilt on his head. Good
And the
evening.
orc will grin and be like, "Yeah, they're in the back room waiting for you."
Thank you. And he'll tilt his head and then walk to the back, all proudly with his ears all. Both tails are pointed straight up, and his ears are both in attention, listening this way and that.
Cool.
When we get to the back room, is there anybody else back here?
There's an information broker that's sitting in one corner. They've got their hood up. They're like poring over a couple of different ledgers and books. And when they look up, they see Ilamathri, and they sort of nod and motion to be like, "Do you need me to get out?"
Question. Do you know where Thrul is or any of his contacts?
They're gonna like put up one finger and flip through a book. Do you understand Drow sign, by the way?
She probably would.
Okay, cool. So he's gonna just like flash a couple of quick signs and be like, "Haven't seen him in 3 days. Last known location was the port just outside the city."
Perfect. What about his closest contact?
Soon. 1 second. And she or he looks up and goes and after digging through this book and then finding nothing, picking up another book, digging through it, and goes, most recent contact was with one Duke Pharaoh, and not sure what they were discussing, but was at his estate 3 days ago. Well, 4 days ago now.
Thank you very much. I'm going to, with a gesture of my hand, 10 gold pieces are going to fall onto the table in front of him. That is all I need for now. Thank you.
He'll nod, collect the coin, and carry on.
I'll turn to those who have followed me, and seems he has left town. But thankfully, there's another Duke who might have an inkling on where he is. Unfortunate thing is, I don't know where this Duke lives. Do any of you know a Duke Pharaoh?
That's a great question, actually.
I know of him, Miss Elamathri, and have been at several parties that feature him, but I have not gotten to know him.
I'll turn and I'll look at the broker. The address?
He'll
If you have
flip through,
if you have a notepad,
grab
that'll
a-
be fine.
grab a blank piece of his book, scribble down an address, and tear it out and hand it over.
Give a very gracious nod. Thank you. All right, let's get out of here. And I'll go to the door to leave the bakery.
As I see you guys coming out the door, I'll jump off the building where it's dark and unravel my wings and glide down to where I parked my bike. And a couple seconds later, you just see the wheel of my bike pop out of the alley, like I'm waiting for you guys to go.
Did we get our muffins on our way out?
Yes.
Perfect.
The most important part.
Can't forget the muffins,
Well,
man.
duh.
They're
Fresh,
important.
fresh
The muffin
baked
man.
muffins. I'm not going to pass that up.
Yeah, none of this front counter bullshit. Like, they're fresh.
They're fresh fucking muffins from a really good bakery. Okay. She's gonna climb into her car and sit down, pull out one of the muffins, probably like a chocolate chip muffin, and start eating it, waiting for everybody else to climbing and get settled in the car.
Nice.
Gets him. He'll climb in. He'll go to as far into the back as possible.
It's just a simple 2-seater, or like 2 rows, where there's the front seats and then the back bench and a trunk.
To the trunk he goes. He gets in the trunk in his fox form.
Katsu,
Right.
what have I said about riding in the trunk?
This way I can keep an eye on our rear. Besides, it's more comfortable for me this way. Less room.
Just don't claw up the flooring in my trunk again, please.
I saw
Last
a
time I hit a
bug.
Yeah, and it cost me 15 gold to replace the carpeting back there.
Fine, I will lightly paw at it the next bug I see. I will make no promises, however.
If you damage my car, I'm gonna charge you for it.
I'll accept the terms and conditions.
You fucking better.
Fox noises in the back.
I just can't.
Little
I
fox noises from the trunk.
at least I get to see a fox jumping around as I'm riding behind you guys.
You definitely would see him jumping around back there.
All right. I assume Raven and Gerard get in the car.
Yes, Gerard bows to Raven to allow them entry and then closes the door behind him.
Such a gentleman.
Such a gentleman. It's
After
so nice.
Gerard and Raven get settled into the car, I will start driving towards Duke Sparrow's estate, given the address, or having been given the address.
I'll follow behind, probably about 20 yards back. Typical tailing of a vehicle.
While I'm driving, I would like to keep an eye on the surroundings to make sure that we're not catching too many eyes, or unwanted eyes, I should say.
I do have a question for you, Miss Olamoth 3, if you'll humor me.
Yes.
You deal in contracts, correct?
Absolutely. They're my specialty.
What part of the contract applies to what part of a person?
That depends on the kind of contract I'm signing. A lot of times it's not necessarily a part of the body. Most times it's a part of the mind. A
So
lot
in
of times it's
essence,
a mind game. Other times it is as though they're signing like their life depends on it.
so I wonder, since it seems was the holder of one of these contracts, I wonder if it still holds. But you see, I have many of my former pieces. My heart beats in my chest. But they did not. I do not have a biological brain as you all do. So I wonder if the contract is voided.
Whoever you were in the past, I did not receive payment upon the completion or termination of the contract. My contracts are a little unique. If a contract is terminated early, I receive, let's just call it a fraction of their soul. I did not receive it from your last self. So, that contract is not voided.
So that would mean whoever I was still remains. And so the question I leave with you is, where does that leave me?
I will have to figure that out. Depending on the debt that you owed me, and depending on how long this job is, I might give you your past self some slack. If it was a detrimental contract that would have taken me or your past self into too much harm, then I will be expecting that payment in full.
You will receive your payment, Miss Ilamathri. I simply wonder the metaphysics of it all. If I was who I was and still am, then where does that leave Gerard going forward?
Personally, I am not 100% sure on how the workings of my contracts go. But I can tell you that if you are no longer your past self and you are Gerard, that could null the contract entirely. But we just have to know who you were prior, so then I can figure that out. If that makes sense.
It does. And it seems Ronmo smiles on me today and has gifted me a piece of this complicated puzzle I have yet to solve. Thank you, Miss Ilamathri.
And don't worry, since you are helping me with this job, I will not be taking your soul. And she chuckles. No power of debt you did owe. How long does it take for us to drive from the bakery to the estate of
You get
Duke Pharaoh?
it's about 5 minutes, and you get to the gate into the central city, and then from there it's about 10 more minutes to Duke Pharaoh's estate. And at the estate, you're greeted by guardsmen who are armed similarly to Dre. They've got rifles on their shoulders, and they've got swords on their hips.
I will stop when we get up to the guards, because I'm assuming there's like a manor gate that they're standing in front of.
Who's
Hello.
in the back seat again?
Raven would
Directly
be
in
in the
front of
back
me?
seat.
Okay. You hear Getsu hiss a little bit, like the little fox hiss. You know, when they're like upset about something. Yeah, you hear that like ever so slightly behind you. But other than that, you no longer see Getsu. He's staying very, very low.
Good afternoon. We would like to speak to the Duke, if he is home.
The guardsman looks at you and goes, "Do you have an appointment with the Duke?"
No, but this is an urgent matter that I think the Duke would like to know.
I'll chime up from trying to see, almost yelling over my motorbike. We're here on behalf of the school. The academy would needs to speak to the Duke.
The guardsman looks over and goes, "The academy wishes to speak with Duke Pharaoh." Very well. I will see if His Grace is available. And he goes into the guardhouse and makes a call.
How many guards are out here?
3.
Okay. Getsu will peek up from his hiding spot, look around at the guards, and then sit back down.
I keep a watchful eye on the guards.
I get ready to pull out. I'm assuming I would have some sort of, like, not badge, but some sort of ID that I am a researcher of the academy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'd have your school ID.
Excuse me, Raven, was it?
Yes.
Are you keeping a watch on these guards?
Yes.
Can you let me know if they make any turns or if they have a new guard post come out.
That
I just
can
need
do.
to keep track. Thank you.
I continue to keep a watch on the guards.
Yes, I need to know at least who is all working at this current time. I like to keep track of the guards that these people keep. You never know, it may come in handy.
All right, so the guard that went into the guardhouse to make the call comes back in, or comes back out, looks at you and goes, the best I can do is ask you to come back this afternoon. His Grace has a brief period available where he is not in meetings regarding the city's politics or his house's meeting or business dealings.
And the Mothri looks fairly annoyed at this point for having to wait and then be told no. Is he in a meeting currently?
Yes.
I'm afraid that this matter is very urgent.
Would
I-
would this guy be familiar with the dean? You said she's a very high, well-known person in the town.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get off my bike then, and I'm gonna walk up to the guardsman and say, the dean has sent me on to find out answers of something. I think it's best you make time for us right now, sir. And I'll look up at him, however tall he is.
He's actually not that much taller than you. He's only a halfling.
Oh, perfect. I'll look him in the eyes then and show him my ID. We need to. Have you come up with a name for the dean?
Oh yeah, it's Dean Irileth Karain.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to post that in Discord after. But
I will.
I'll say that just tell him the dean has sent us to get some answers or to ask him some questions. I think it would be in his best interest to make time for us right now.
Okay. He's gonna be like, which dean? There are 6.
I'm not gonna try to say the name, but the
Okay.
the one that
Dean
yeah,
Dean Aeroleth.
yeah.
Air left crane.
I'm horrible with names, so just be
Elamopri is
forewarned.
Same.
Elamopri is very impatiently tapping the steering wheel. Dean Irileth Crane is who we are here to speak for.
And the halfling guardsman will like trundle inside, leaving his 2 elven counterparts to stand between you and the manor gate. And he makes a phone call again. It's like an intercom system, and comes back out a couple of minutes later and goes, all right, His Grace will see you as soon as this meeting is finished.
Do we have a spot to park outside the manor?
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll open the gates and you can come and park in visitor parking.
I'll just turn around, not saying anything, and get
I'll
on my
nod my
bike.
head and under my breath, loud enough for Gerard to hear, but not the guards, I say, fucking nobles, goddamn bureaucracies. As soon as the gates open, she will drive through.
I'll follow behind, and
I hate dealing with them.
as I'm riding, I'll just open up my wings to give some air as we're going at a slowish pace. That won't knock me off my bike, but the breeze feels nice as I'm driving.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the wingspan, if it's for the sake of the guards, is I'd say about 4 feet.
Okay.
Those are some pretty big fucking wings on you.
Well, isn't it technically like
It should be like your arm length. Yeah.
I thought
Well,
it
that's
was
for
like
normal arms, but for actual wings, yeah, they're longer.
Yeah, it's like almost double the size of the body of of a bird. So I'm just kind of going off bird logic.
That's
I
bad.
just
Because you got to think
didn't
each
think
wing,
about the comparison for them.
each wing is jutting like probably half an inch above my head and grazing the ground. So if I spread them out, it's about 4.5 feet.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
That's fair. If you don't mind, Elmatri, I would like to stay hidden during our time here. I cannot explain
I
why.
know how
Just
you
know
are.
that.
I know how
Yes.
you are, Getsu. That's fine. Just don't fuck it up.
You cut out there.
Don't fuck this up, Getsu.
I will try.
Can't have him running away on us.
Fine. But I will have him run eventually. I'll just take
She rolls her eyes and
Just have me on your shoulder. That's all I ask.
when are you nuts, Getsu?
Happy fox noises in the back.
She'll park the car and just take a couple of breaths to regain her composure. I haven't even walked outside and I'm getting irritated. This is going to be a long day. I can already tell.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it.
I'm going to look at Gerard. I assume you know how to conduct yourself around nobility?
I was raised and trained to, so yes.
Turn to look at Raven. Do you know how to mingle with the noblemen?
Mingle,
How to behave?
no, but I know how to act around them.
That's all I need. And then I'm going to look at Dre. Please tell me you know how to behave around nobility.
I've been around nobility for my entire 6 years of my life. I know how to conduct myself. I may not like them and I may not sound like them, but I can hold my tongue.
I honestly could care. I could care less if you like them or not, because I hate them just as anybody else here.
Nobles
I'll
We
are
do
get
have
like
along
to
well.
make sure that we stay
Yes,
proud.
they are. We'll all get along very well then.
We just need to make sure we don't. She'll kind of like straighten her dress a little bit as she stands up and fixes her hair. Okay. As she steps out of the car and approaches the estate.
Getsu will jump on Elmatri's shoulder. And he'll kind of use his tails as like a fancy looking scarf around her.
No, you give me far too much, Gatsu. You really do.
Anything to make
People
the
say
deal
I'm drop
stick.
dead gorgeous as is.
Well, now you have a fancy tail. He'll hardly
Kind of give you a
resist
little pet. A little pet.
happy fox
I
noises.
appreciate it.
I'll try to keep my cool while we're in here.
That's all I ask.
All right.
Are there any?
As you guys are talking,
Go ahead.
the halfling guardsman comes up to you and goes, "All right, inside, please. If we're making the Duke take time out of his day, we need to hurry."
Oh, heaven forbid he
Yes,
takes the
I am
time
well
out of his
aware.
day. Sure wouldn't want to inconvenience
Lead the way,
him.
please. I glare daggers at Getsu.
He'll turn the other way as soon as you look at him.
Upon seeing how
Lead
persuasive,
the way, please.
seeing how going, Dre, I will see how persuasive. I forget your character's name. I'll see how persuasive you are talking, and I'll just give you a hand, but not tell you, and I'll switch my aura to an aura of persuasion, and you'll notice me standing
Okay.
right beside you at all times.
I
Alright.
say in a low enough tone, you do not need to stand directly next to me, Dre.
I'll just turn and like side eye you, and I'll just look up. I think you might want me to in this situation.
As we are walking, how many guards walk by us?
So there's the two that are still at the gate. There's the one that's escorting you. There's two more at the manor entrance. And that would be it for visibly armed guards.
Okay.
Anyone not visibly armed?
That's a great question. That Raven doesn't know the answer to right now. You can make me an insight check.
Gatsu would like to do that as well because he's also keeping track.
That's
All
a
right, make me
D20,
insight
right?
checks. D20 plus your wisdom or your wisdom and proficiency.
Gatsu rolled a 10. He's too... it's average.
Insight, okay.
You're too focused on staying on my shoulder, literally.
Yeah, he's trying so hard not to be pissed off right now.
All right. Raven, you do notice one or two other people that could be guards, but they're not in uniform. They're just in like typical servant's livery.
All right.
But they're carrying themselves like a guard does.
I'd know how to tell a servant from a guard after all.
Yeah, exactly. They're not carrying themselves like a servant. They're carrying themselves more like a guard.
Does this building look like an older building?
Oh yes.
Would there be any, would I know any history of like secret or places where guards could be hidden?
You can make me a history check.
That'll be a 24.
Oh hell yeah! You would know that the manor itself is rumored to have many secret passageways and things like that, where there could be guards, there could be a fully hidden back room. This is one of the older manors in Vonphis. It's only recently, as in the last couple of generations, come into the come into possession of this family, but it is one of the older manors, so it likely has many, many hidden passageways and things like that.
All right. As I'm walking next to Ilamothra, I'll just kind of give her a little kick in the ankle, and I'll just say we should be wary. There could be more guards than meets the eye here.
Of course there are.
I counted on it.
I'll keep watch on each of them.
If we're here to discuss things politely and civilly, as befits nobility, extra guard should not be a problem, correct?
It's better to
Correct.
keep an eye on
And-
things.
I think you guys will learn soon enough on why people call me the silver-tongued witch.
While the guards aren't looking, I would like to just to be safe, switch my scope to the short range sight of my canted sights. If I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, you want to make it so it's not noticeable, like you
Yeah,
wanna
a sleight
do
of
it-
hand.
Sleight of hand, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, they definitely notice. They don't do anything because they're professionals, but they definitely notice.
Big oof.
Yeah, got bad time to roll below a 10 there.
Yeah.
At least it's not a one.
Roll. At least it's not a 1. All right, so the guard ushers hands you off to a steward, and the steward takes you into the manor proper and escorts you to a parlor where she looks at you and goes, "His Grace will be with you shortly. Please do just looks around. Do your best to be civilized."
I glare down at him. Does it look like I'm uncivilized?
Not you, your companions.
They
I
will be
can show
fine.
you uncivilized. Let's say it very low so that only Imatria hear.
I reach up and give a light bap on his snoot.
I live in the
Like-
countryside. I'll try to be as civilized as I can.
They will be fine. I can assure you. We will. You may leave.
Steward, she bows and leaves the room.
Stuart doesn't know what she's
She can-
talking about. She has absolutely no training, and yet wishes to talk down to us.
Well, that seems to be the name of the game when it comes to people in this get you a look around establishment, if you can call it that.
This establishment is a very, very historical site. It's not just an establishment. I'll kind of snark back at you.
Well, I'm sure the building is just fine. However, its inhabitants are to be determined. Its inhabitants are lesser than dirt.
Duke Pharaoh must be desperate for employees, Miss Ilmathri. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage. This tea set is for evening tea, not morning.
You're very
astute.
knowledgeable.
I have the highest training of all the nobility. The church ensured that.
I'll kind of smirk, and as she looks at you, Gerard, you see gold flash across Ilmatri's eyes. Thank you for the astute observations.
We need to keep this moving smoothly and keep everything in balance.
I'll just go find a wall and lean up against it, just kind of crossing my arms. But I do, Illumathre might notice, I do try to stay within 10 feet of her at all times.
Get your own bodyguard.
Raven just
mumble
stands
under my
warily out of the
breath. I mumble under my breath just loud enough for Getsu to hear me. I think you're not the only paranoid one in this bunch.
Good. We need more of us around. I don't think you're paranoid enough.
Listen, when you can talk your way out of death more times than you have been alive, I don't need to be paranoid. I need to be suave.
Well, everyone needs an air of paranoia around them, don't they? As you can see, it's worked out for me very well. He'll look or see if there's any guards walking by.
Nope, the parlor door is closed and it's just you five.
I wish we could have left those open, however. I need to know how many guards are in this building.
Too many for you to count on one paw.
Probably too many to count on all paws.
All
But
right.
I'll
If the
wait.
guards become an issue, I know that we won't be able to handle it.
As long as I get if push comes to shove, I want the last blow on you know who. If it comes to that. I won't do anything ahead of time. Maybe. I'll try.
Maybe. All right, so the door opens and a servant walks in and a steward walks in and looks around the place, and they just sigh heavily, walk over to the tea set, pick up the whole tray, walk out of the room. And the initial steward that brought you in comes back with a different tea set and like looking very ashamed of herself and sets it down. And and then leaves. And then the other steward comes back and it goes, presenting His Grace, Duke Pharaoh.
Ketsu slightly hisses, but he keeps it so low that even Amatri has a little hard time hearing him. But you do kind of feel his tails kind of tense up just ever so slightly around you.
I reach up and I pet one of the tails to kind of ease you a little bit, but also not make it obvious.
Gerard
Dude.
would
Go ahead, Link.
Gerard would bow as appropriate and hi, Vonphian. Say, good morning, Your Grace.
And the Duke would come in and look at you in Vonphian and be like, a pleasant morning to you as well. Now, you look around the room. Who is here on behalf of the Academy?
That would be myself and my friend Dre over here. We have some business to attend, to speak
I'll
on.
just kind of look.
And
I'll just kind of look up and snort. Nobles. I'll say under my breath.
this is a private matter on behalf of the dean, so I know that you wish to keep a steward around, but it is not for her ears.
He would sigh, touch a charm on his neck, like a necklace that he's got, and a like bubble would form around him and slowly expand to fill the room. And he would motion to the steward to leave. He would go, if anyone tries anything hostile, I assure you the consequences will be most unpleasant.
Don't worry,
Carry
there will
on.
be no hostile or aggressive actions held here currently. We just have business to speak upon.
Very well. What
And-
business is it? I am busy.
Her face goes from the pleasant smile to just a stone cold glare. Frill. Where is he?
You care more about Harding Thrall than your own safety? Yes, I know who you are, Silver-tongued Witch.
I'm not here for you. I'm just here for him. Last he was seen 3 days ago, he was leaving town.
Yes,
I just want to know
he
where.
had business elsewhere. He had business elsewhere.
Please. I do really wish to keep you out of this mess. This is a mess for him and myself alone. If you tell us where he went, nothing will become of this conversation. There will be no history of us speaking.
One of Getsu's
He was
ears
headed
kind of
north.
tilts towards the Duke.
North where?
He was headed north to our neighboring kingdom for some business ventures. I don't know the specifics of them. All I know is he was asking me to arrange his passage.
I'll pull out a map and turn it and unroll it and turn it towards her. Where?
Is it an archaeology dig again? Or is it something more personal?
Look, I'm already risking my neck by telling you this. You know Thrall is a short-tempered man.
Yes. And I can promise you, I hold up my hand as a small contract appears, floating just an inch above my hand. You have my word. Ill will or harm will come towards you after this conversation. This is my verbal
Very well.
oath to that.
He was headed just across the border into the south of Braidland, and as far as I know, yes, it was some archaeological find. It's his obsession lately. I don't understand it. This is his obsession of late, and he is seeking to find something to, what was his way of saying it? Legitimize his claimed nobility?
Was this of draconic, or was this dig of draconic origin?
I don't know. All I know is he was asking me to arrange transport. So I sent him to one of my associates just outside the city who would provide him with transportation up to southern Bradland, and he contracted me for safe arrival. That was it.
Please, just point on the map where exactly the site is.
Getsu, under his breath, will go, "It doesn't sound like you've put out your neck enough."
Gray, I do think that the Duke is being sincere when he says he does not know the exact location.
Fair enough. Well,
But
I will mark it with my finger around the general area and roll it back up and put it away.
All right.
I appreciate your honesty. Now, to make sure that this verbal contract is sealed from both of us, I need your word that this conversation does not leave this room to anyone, anything, or any guild. Just need you to speak your name,
Pharaoh,
and that is it.
Pharaoh sighs, and it's just like, I, Duke Pharaoh, agree to this term.
Perfect. And the contract melts into golden liquid as it falls into my hand. That is it. You may drop the sound barrier now, and we will be out of your hair. She stands up. It was a pleasure, Duke.
He touches the necklace again, and the bubble kind of collapses in on itself. All right.
And remember, Duke, not a word.
Yes, yes. I am aware of what your contracts entail.
Good. Oh, and to make sure your name stays at the ranking that it is, knock some sense into your servants. The newest one is poorly trained.
Understood. He turns and leaves the room. And yeah, that's that.
So, what are the terms of your if he were to say go against the terms of your contract?
Well, the fun is in the surprise, isn't it, Getsu? As I say as I walk out of the room.
Shame. I'd love to see what would happen if he were to fail.
Odds are you won't see it. I'll know it.
I want to see it. He's at the top of my list. He always has been, always will be.
As we're leaving, once Kai, would I have a history book of that area that he is supposedly in at my estate? Would that be a common book?
Yeah.
Okay. As we're leaving the room, Ilamathri, might I suggest that instead of going in there blind, we take this back to my estate and look through my library to see if we can find anything about ruins or archaeology sites buried around there, and save us some time on searching of this massive area.
Absolutely. Also, and she'll turn and look at the three of you. Please, call me Illa.
That assumes some familiarity beyond a contract.
Since this is going to be taking us out of the country, it's going to be a longer job than I intended it to be. Which means that we will be getting to know each other whether we like it or not.
Yeah, seeing as most of you don't like the nobility, you've already got a plus in my book.
It's not that I don't hate the nobility, it's that I hate that they are as greedy as they are for these artifacts that can do so much for the progression of our magics.
Can't say I share your sentiment in that matter, however.
You must
I
admit,
st-
Getsu, the nobility do grow the city and the nation to a point, but it is a razor's edge to tipping over into greed. That is what we fight at the temple.
I haven't met a noble that wasn't greedy.
They do exist.
I doubt that.
There's
I'd
there
rather meet them.
there are lots of nobility that aren't greedy. Let's just take a look at the dean. She right?
She.
She is the most genuine, ungrateful person I have ever come across, and she is one of the more well known people in this city.
Are you saying that because you know her, or because these are actually true?
These are actually true from my 6 years I've spent being around her, working under her, working for her.
Well, I leave that to be seen.
I can also attest to that.
It's news to
Now.
me.
So,
As my heels clack down the marble halls out of the building.
so shall we be off to my manor? I'm sure I can have my wife make us up some dinner for the because I think it should be about evening by the time we get there.
I am hungry.
I'd love to see your
That
estate.
sounds fine to me.
I will have to decline dinner, though.
I'll look you up and down and just I'll kind of look like I'll get closer and I'll look in at your organs. And I'm like, are you sure you still don't eat? I see organs intact in there.
They did retain my stomach, but I do not require food.
So be it. I can maybe get you some oil.
That would be lovely.
I'll look at El and I'll just say, well, just follow me and try to keep up.
Did we, before we left, did we see any new guards that we didn't before?
No,
Okay.
just the same ones.
Okay. That's good to know.
And I think that's where we're going to take our people break.
I don't require food. How about some?
Oil?
Right?
That's the same, right? That works.
All right. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We are back.
Hello.
Howdy, y'all.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh yeah, I have to do that thing.
Oh.
All right. So we are on the way to Trace Manor.
Yeah, it's about 5, depending how far we are in the city. It'll probably be about an hour to get there. It's about 20 kilometers outside of the city walls.
Yeah. So you're pretty deep in the central city right now. So it'll take you a while to get out of the city, and then like half an hour to get to 20 minutes, half an hour to get to the.
Ilamathri, how does your car do on dirt roads?
It's not the greatest. She's a sports car, so but
Well, my bike
It
makes
works.
it across the road just fine, so I think you'll be fine.
yeah. As long as I
Well,
don't like
shall
end up bottoming out my car.
it's like I'd say it's like a gravel road. It's like a dirt road with so it's not really like bouncy, but it's like one of those like in Alberta it'd be one of those like town roads, you know? That
As
any
long
car
as
can
it's not
drive.
like a Wisconsin road, as long as it's not a Wisconsin road in the middle of winter, we're fine.
I
It
feel
is
like a
not
sports
winter.
car is better than a motorbike on those roads.
All right, well, follow me and
Wisconsin roads.
well, Illa, just follow me and try to keep up.
Have you ever driven on dirt
Lead the way,
roads
Dre.
before, Illa? Have you ever been outside
Years
of the
ago.
city?
It's been a while.
Hmm.
Too open for my tastes.
I miss it
City gal.
sometimes.
Well, for the last 300 odd years, been in, if not directly in the city, I've been just on the tail end of it. So being out here, it's kind of weird, honestly.
I believe it.
All right.
Get out.
Yeah. You guys get out of the city, no problem.
I'd prefer being out of the city than in a nobleman's manor.
I like being in their manners, but not for reasons I would like to say out loud.
We all know why you'd like to be in their manners. Get to.
Eventually, I find myself back in the Duke's Manor. Hopefully, with his throat in my gauntlet.
I can say that I can relate to that sort of want.
We're going to get along very nicely.
The roads are smooth sailing. Like there's a very, very light rain inside the city, but once you get outside of the city, it starts to die off. So the ground is a little bit damp, but it's not bad. And yeah, you can get to Dre's estate quite easily.
So as we get to the turnoff, I look back over my shoulder and I wave you. I wave you and to tell you to follow me as I turn off on this dirt road off the main road. And as we're driving down the road, it's a little bit windy, but it's drivable, very drivable for the most part. And after about 3 minutes, we get to the clearing, and as we pull up, you see just this. Yeah, it's about a medium-sized manor, like an old country house with a wrapped around balcony. Um, there's a smallish dog sitting on the front steps. And as I pull up to the another parked motorbike, I point over to a patch of grass and yell, "That might be the best spot for you to park."
You have a dog? His ears will perk up. I wasn't aware you had friends.
I have many friends, I say as I turn off my bike and look down at you.
Yeah, he's still in his fox form.
I'll whistle for the dog to come over, and as the dog gets over, it's about a 40-pound blue heeler, and the dog I'll whistle for the dog, and I'll just say, this is Tristan. Tristan sits, and take it away, Loki.
So, for reference, Getsu's fox form is like the size of a Shih Tzu. So he's tiny. So he walks up to Tristan and goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you," and he'll bow in his fox form. "You are magnificent. It is ever so lovely to meet you, Tristan. My name is Getsume." And both of his tails will like flick, like both going this way and then that way.
You know,
Okay,
in all of the years I've known you are more formal to this dog than you have been to any person I've ever seen you make contact with.
Well, have you met animals? They know not most of our what we call formal greetings. They speak from their own sense of nobility, and they don't judge us, like Tristan here.
They're preferable to nobles.
Well, it gets you if you adore animals that much. Why don't I show you around? And please just follow me as I start walking around the back of the house.
His tail and his ears both perk up. Will Tristan be joining us?
I'll whistle for Tristan to come.
He'll jump on Tristan's back.
Tristan will just keep walking, just kind of confused. So as we get around back, go ahead.
Illumathri is awestruck at what the hells is going on in front of her.
As we get around,
Raven's just following along happily. Farm sounds better than nobles.
Get to. Why don't you just take a look at the closed off pasture back there, and just take a look at the two ponies I have.
Ponies? You have ponies here?
This is a small hobby farm. Of course we have ponies. What do you think me and my wife like to do?
Creatures. I've never seen one of these before.
Wow. He'll jump up and see the ponies, and he'll bow to them too. "Hello, I'm ever so pleased to meet you. My name is Getsume."
Illumathri is just too stunned to speak at this entire thing playing out in front of her.
Well, now that you've had your introductions, Getsume, Illumathri, why don't we go get along with the business, shall we?
I will return to
Thank
greet
you.
you all before we leave.
I'll head inside. I'll lead you guys through the back door, which leads directly into the kitchen, and I'll call out Ketla. Are you home?
And down the stairs comes the patter of very small kobold feet.
Oh,
And she comes down. She's like, "Ah, Dre, you're home, and you brought guests."
We have come to do some research. Would you mind whipping up just some food? I know you're really busy with your schoolwork. How'd those tests go, by the way?
Oh, good. I feel awkward talking about my school in front of the people I've never met, but good.
I'm glad to hear. Keep up on those studies. We will be downstairs in the lab. If you need anything, and I'll look at Elmathri and point towards the stairs that go downstairs.
you are the lady of the
Question for you,
house.
Blood.
Yeah,
Is this a kobold-sized house or a people-sized house?
this is a kobold
I was
sized
just gonna ask that.
It's kobold sized appliances in a human's normal sized house. Because my thought is I took it over from someone and I couldn't renovate the outside of the house or the rooms, but I could renovate the inside, and I have guest rooms for normal sized people.
Good deal.
Okay, I was like, if Ilamathri is needing to crawl anywhere, there's no way in hell she is doing anything.
This house was a gift from the school. In character, Elmathri, don't worry about. You'll make do here. I have a lot of people from the school that I bring over, and not everybody is in as short as I am, to put it frankly. So I have made accommodations for everybody of all flavors of species.
I do appreciate that, Dre. Thank you for
Come.
welcoming us into your home.
Come. Let me show you my library.
What was your wife's name again?
Ketla.
Ketla. I'll approach Ketla. She's headed to the kitchen. Do you require help, or I'm quite precise in my knife skills?
She would turn around and look at you and be like, way up at you.
Perhaps help you reach high shelves?
Well, Dre's been very good about renovating the kitchen, and there are no high shelves for me to deal with. But if you would like to assist, I won't say no. You might find the counters somewhat unpleasantly short, though.
I'll do my best. I'll turn to Elmathri. You can all go and plan whatever you need. If I'm unaware of the plan, then I won't be here to hinder you.
Dre you might notice a grin come from Dre's face.
Ilamathri ponders that for a second. I think that is for the best.
Very good.
Thank you, Gerard.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, let's go. I'll start heading down the stairs. And I will look back and say, I did renovate the stairs. Oh, they are not standard stairs. I'm going to warn you now. They are fit for standard for a kobold. So just watch your step, please. There is a railing on the right. Just be very wary as you walk down these stairs, especially in those red heels you have.
How big is the railing? It's probably like kobold hand size.
I would think I'd make the railing normal size just because I made the stairs kobold so I could walk down them without any hindrance. Or maybe there's like a 3-tiered railing system, like one kobold, one human, and one anything bigger.
Guess who would very much so climb walk along the railing, the tallest one. Oh, this is perfect. Thank you.
Raven, if you would mind going down before me, it is going to take me some time to get down the stairs in my heels.
All right then.
What's wrong? That's too small for you.
I'm pretty sure I'm significantly shorter than LMR3 anyways.
Ilamadri will take her sweet ass time, one step at a time, holding onto the railing to make sure her shoes don't break and her ankles don't snap. As you just hear the click, 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 a very uneven walking.
Kai, there is electricity in this world, right? Perfect. So as Ilamathra gets to the bottom of the stairs, I'll just kind of flick a light switch, and downstairs you see what appears to be this massive, massive room that is quite bigger than what looks to be the house. Like it's probably both the top floor and the bottom floor combined size in the basement. And I'll just wave my arm towards the library off in the corner. That is where we will find what we're looking for. If any of you would like to look around, please be my guest. Just be careful what you touch. A lot of these are very expensive tools, and there's a lot of borrowed from the academy. I do not want broken.
My word. This is incredible. We'll transform back into his normal form.
And also, there is a couch to lounge around in, if you so choose.
I think I'll take my stand there. He'll go plop down on it. Both his tails are kind of moving and sync.
Raven carefully observes everything in the room.
She'll notice stands of all kinds, an alchemist stand, whatever you could think of that would be in a school, in the academy's laboratories. There would be down in this room.
You wouldn't happen to
How
have
would Raven know it would be in an academy's laboratory?
Well, you are in at a scholar's house right now.
Do you happen to have some blueprints? I don't need to know exactly what they go to.
I might have a book of blueprints. A book. What are you looking for? Anything in particular?
Oh, just houses.
I swear,
perhaps.
Getsu, if you are looking at Duke Pharaoh's house blueprints up right now, there is a
What?
time and a place.
Well, while you
This
all
may
are
be
doing
the
war-
place, but this is not a time to do that.
Kai, would there be a book of blueprints of the city that I would have, or would that be like public library type thing? Or is that like a D100 to see?
Yeah, no, you don't have that.
Okay. Gatsumi, I apologize. I have no such thing you're looking for. I do. If you find interest in reading the non-fictional side of things, I do have a small library of fun reads that you can gander through if you so choose. And I'll point you towards the other corner. It's a very much smaller library, probably about a quarter of the size, but.
He'll walk over, and he'll pick up a book, try to read it for like a couple of seconds, close it, and then pick up another one. And he just kind of does that for a couple of minutes. It's just like, puts it down, picks up another one. Puts it down, picks up another one. Kind of just does that for a couple of minutes.
Ilamatre, please follow me.
I cautiously follow to not step or break anything because I know everything in this fucking room is expensive and I would rather not pitch money to fix anything.
As we get to the library, I walk over to the side of the room where I have chairs of all variety, and I kind of look back. I look at the chairs. I look back, and I just kind of nod, and I grab one of the human-sized chairs, and I grab a pillow, and I put it on next to the table with the pillow on, and say, "Here you go, ma'am."
Thank you,
Raven
but you
just
do not
follows
need
slowly.
you do not need to treat me with such je ne sais pas.
Please, please,
Caution.
you are a guest. You are a guest in my home. Please let me treat you how I want, other than poorly.
Very well. She will smile as she takes a seat.
I will then go grab a couple of books about the history of the area, and I'll plop them down. You'll see me maybe going through the library, going, yes, this one, and then for about 5 minutes, as I come back with 2 or 3 books, I plop them down on the table, and I look at Elmathri. Can you read what is it? High
Vonphian.
Vonphian.
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. And then I'll give you a book, and I say, this is the history of the area we're going to. Look for anything that might lead us to the point of where he is. And I will start with this one.
Knowing Thrall as much as I do, he doesn't waste his time on anything that would deem unworthy. So anything with high either monetary value, or anything to boast his already inflated ego be the best thing to look for.
That they all have inflated egos.
Thrall is so full of himself that let me rephrase. His head is so far up his own ass that it does a loop around and shoves itself right back in.
He's one of those. My least favorite.
Most common.
Kai, how long do you think it'll take for us to find anything of value? Note, I will also pull out a map of the area, a very detailed map of this individual area, and I will unravel it on the table, putting stoppers on each side so it stays unraveled.
Is there anything with pictures in this library?
Check the bottom shelf.
He'll go and look at those
Gets-
in particular.
As he opens one of the books, it pops up. A pop-out comes up.
Oh.
Getsu, I've been doing business with you for how long, and now I'm knowing you can't read?
I never had the chance to learn.
Just be
No
careful.
parents.
Just be careful with those books. I have those set aside for my future kids.
Of course. He'll
Getsu,
be
does that
extra
mean
careful.
over the last decade that you have been signing my contracts, you haven't read a single one?
Was I supposed to?
Typically, that's how contracts work, from my understanding.
Well, I suppose I should learn to read so I can know you're not doing one over on me. I trust you. If you wanted my soul, you'd have it.
Illimathri.
I'm now learning that. Thank you.
Illimathri, please just give me one moment, and I'll walk over. I'll walk over to Getsumi, and I'll look at you, and I'll just kind of shake my head. Walk over to another part of the area he's in, and I'll just pull out a book, and I'll just put it on the table. This is Velopian, a learning to read Velopian for newborns. Please take a read. It has pictures in it too.
His ears will tilt. They'll go like, okay. And then he'll just start to try and read it.
Getsu,
It also
I
has-
mean this.
Go ahead.
I mean this with the most love and respect I have for you, being one of my dearest friends and contacts. What the hell?
What? It's never come up before, so I never thought to let you know.
Okay, I'm gonna have to reteach you the whole fundamentals of my contracts, aren't I?
I probably will need to relearn them after I figure out what the bloody hell these words mean.
Illimathri, please, just I'm going to give him this book out of my own gratitude. Just help him out when he needs it.
I will. I'm just glad that she kind of just rubs the bridge of her nose. I'm just happy that I found you before any of the other Cabal did.
Yes.
They would have killed you by now. At least a dozen times.
Raven
Well,
wanders over to Getsu and starts assisting with learning how to read.
Thank you so much. I'll have this memorized by the morning.
I'm going to start looking in the book after regaining my composure for the third time today.
I will reread this book 7 times before we leave for our journey. I assure you of that. And he does not put that book down.
I go back and sit at the table, and I had a book in Draconic. Grab a book in Draconic. Can you read this, or shall I go through this book?
I'll go through this one that I currently have and see if there's anything of monetary value that he would want, and then I can go through another book.
Okay. I will open the book that's completely in Draconic and start reading.
If you have any
Alright, and
books
you guys are
that are
looking
written
for-
in Elvish. If you have any books written in Elvish, I can read those.
I don't think I have many, as this library has been gathered for me to read, and that's one language I just have not picked up on, no matter how many times I've tried.
That is fair.
What were you saying, Kai?
Give me a second. So you're looking for like historical information and stuff like that you could be finding archaeological sites, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have each of you roll me a an intelligence check.
Is this regarding
Just
any?
straight intelligence?
Is this regarding?
Yeah.
Is this regarding anything dragon related or no? Because I get advantage on anything I get advantage on in checks made to recall anything draconic.
No, it is not.
Okay. I know it's a little metagamey, but
I
figured it asks.
Yeah, you're good.
I got an 8.
Oh no.
Mothra is just still too stunned from the last 15 minutes of Getsu being obsessed with the animals and now knowing that Getsu can't read.
Luckily for you, I got a 19.
She's learning a lot about her her friend here.
All right. So, yeah, Dre, you come across some sites that might be pertinent. You're able to narrow down the area that you need to be looking in quite substantially.
Elamathre, please, just. I think I have found something, and you'll see Dre put a talon on the map on the area, and ink will just come out and kind of circle the area we're looking at. And I think I have found something of importance. I think we should check this area first if we were to go out there.
May I ask what is important about that area?
Kai, what would have popped out to me when I was reading?
It was the site of a border dispute between Vonphis and Brideland that ended up with Vonphis losing, and one of their ancient rulers was lost in that battle. So there's a chance that it would have artifacts relating to that.
There could be some. It was a border dispute between this kingdom and another. There seems to be some sort of royalty there. Could be anything. But this might be a site to check out, as it was fallen a long time ago.
That is definitely a thrall. He goes for the long shots and somehow manages to find them. So that's where he would be.
Well,
all right.
Do we want to stay here for the night, or do we want to make way as far as we can tonight?
It's gonna take at least a day and a half to get there from here. So I say we rest up while we can, and then first thing in the morning we leave.
Well, then it's settled. I'll roll up the map and just leave the books there. I'll come tidy up later. Let's get your guys' living quarters sorted for the night.
I can sleep anywhere. I'll turn back into a fox.
Anywhere but the basement, please.
That is fine. As long as I have a place I can place this book, I will be okay.
The book is now yours. Do with the book as you wish.
I must read it. I must learn its history and all of the many secrets it may have. I will treasure this book. Thank you.
Off that, I say, dinner should be ready soon. Shall we go up and feast as new friends?
Will Tristan be joining us?
If he would like Tristan to join us, I can bring him inside.
Yes, and then I would like to also eat with the ponies as well.
Well, I do
Get
have
to, I do not think they want to bring the ponies into the house.
the ponies will not be coming inside, but I do have to feed them. And are there clocks? There are clocks in this world, right? Analog.
Oh yeah.
I would look at the wall. I have to feed the ponies in about an hour. You can join me if you'd like.
I would love to. I have my dinner with them.
So be it.
Lovely.
Elmathri is
say.
going. Elmathri is going to stand up and walk towards the stairs. I'm going to head upstairs while I still can, without having an aneurysm.
There should be a table upstairs for a woman of your height.
Thank you.
I'll stay back and tidy up a bit.
Getsu will follow up behind Ella.
As well as I will use my cobalt gearsmithing while I'm down here and it's going to take about an hour, but I'm going to make a vial of alchemist's fire.
Okay.
So I stay back for about an hour, and then I finally come up. Has dinner been served?
As you're getting upstairs, Ketla and Gerard would have finished making dinner. Gerard spending most of his time on his knees just to be able to work on the counters.
Oh, Gerard, I did promise you some oil, didn't I? Let me go to the shop and find some. Do you want to come with me?
No. If the shop is downstairs, I would be unable to.
No, I have a shop around the side that I use to work on the motorbikes if need be.
Oh, very good. I will accompany you there. Miss Ilamathri, the next time you go down those stairs, you might want to consider removing your shoes. It will make it less dangerous.
Thank you, Gerard.
Ketla, if you don't mind putting the food out, I will be right back. I'm just going to take Gerard. I guess he wants some oil, and I think Getsumi wants to eat with the ponies out back. So
He'll nod.
and I'll grab a plate of meat and just kind of hesitate and look at you as I'm grabbing the plate of meat. Is this what you eat?
I do appreciate a good plate of meat, yes.
So be it. I grab the plate and I walk around back. And as we get to the back, I put the plate in the pasture, and I walk over and start heaving the hay into to the feeding troughs for the horses.
He'll climb up and eat, and then he'll watch the ponies as he's eating. This is delightful.
I will leave the back window open for when you're done. Gerard, please follow me.
Of course.
And the shop's about I'd say about 30 feet away. And then as we get in, I just kind of look at the couple barrels of oil I have. Do you do premium, or do you want standard?
Or do you take diesel?
Yeah, diesel an option.
Gerard would be a diesel engine, wouldn't he? Standard is fine.
I'll grab my measuring cup, and I'll take the bowl I have brought out, and I'll just fill the bowl, and I'll just kind of. Here you go. Do you want to join us inside? Well, and drink this while we eat, or do you want to drink it out here?
The oil is not for, well, it will be consumed, but it is not for nourishment. I do have some rags.
Oh, rags. And I'll like fumble around for a bit, and I'll find my drawer of dirty rags, and I'm like, they're a little dirty. I hope it doesn't bother you, and I'll grab two or three and hand them to you.
Thank you. I'm more than welcome to stand outside the kitchen door and accompany you all while you eat, but this oil will help respin my gears, polish them up. It's a tedious process and time, and it's a touch loud.
So be it. I'll leave the back door open so you don't miss out on a friendly dinner banter.
Very good.
And I'll head back into the house and take my seat next to my wife.
Alrighty. Standard or premium oil. All right.
You gotta have a Discord. You gotta put in the Discord like a part where we can like put memorable quotes. Like
I swear I have one.
Recaps. I'm just gonna put it under. Oh, I don't have permission to put it under recap.
Memorable moments.
Premium or
I
standard
swear I
oil?
have.
Diesel. Also, you can't read?
Things we say.
Oh,
hell
God.
yeah.
So, as we are eating dinner, I'm going to make some casual, polite conversation with Raven and our hosts. Question for the DM: is the city of Vonphis on the way to get to the border of the countries?
You would want to go back into Vonphis to make sure you had appropriate supplies, and then you would leave out the northern gate. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to ask.
Alright.
So you both have a lovely farm. How long have you lived here?
I got this after my DM question. Would it be a doctorate that I have after 6 years at the academy?
Yeah, you'd have your equivalent of a PhD.
Okay. I got this after I finished my doctorate degree in my 5th year. It was a gift from the dean. She thought very highly of me and thought this small property would make a good personal laboratory, as you saw downstairs.
It was very lovely. I kind of call over the noise. Gerard, how long have you been at the temple?
Clunk. The piece of my arm comes off.
I love that there's creaking coming from one of our mics too while this is going on.
I stuck my head in the back doorway to look at you all. The temple awoke me about a year ago. I think a year and 2 months.
I see. I think that might actually narrow down who you might be. I just would need to look in my archives, of course. It was very generous of them to revive you in such a way.
I'm not exactly sure the process that went into it. I was told it was extensive, and for whatever reason, Ronmo smiled on me. the wheel spun, and I got another round.
Either it be fate or just coincidence. It's very nice of them and very lucky for you. What about you, dear Raven? Where do you come from?
The city.
Mysterious. You sure seem to know your way around the city.
I've been here a long time.
All right, then. Keep your secrets.
Getsu's gonna jump sit on the windowsill. I have finished my meal with the ponies. They were delightful.
Getsu, you almost gave me a heart attack just now.
I
Forget how
apologize.
quiet you can be.
You get used to the random critters when you live out here.
There are more.
There are creepy. Just be careful. Is all I have to say to you. We are deep in the woods.
That's true. In the city, they all live underground.
I do love the woods and all of their mysteries, including all of the creepy crawlies that tend to muck about. Do not worry, I will not venture farther from this building unless to see the ponies.
Can Tristan understand him? Can they understand each? No. Okay.
About as much as Tristan can understand you.
Tristan, I mean, a trained farm dog. Sit, come.
Yeah.
Just if you go wander, please just don't bring Tristan with you. He is a beloved companion to me and Ketla.
Do not worry, I would never endanger Tristan's life. It is precious to me. He is my new friend, as well as your ponies. We are the bestest of friends. He'll look at Tristan, who I'm assuming would be in the kitchen since
Yes.
everybody is here.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how dogs are. Look in Tristan's direction. Yes, we are best friends now. We have deemed it.
Shall I go prepare you? Shall I go show you to the rooms that you will be sleeping in tonight?
Before you do, Dre, may I have a word with you in private?
Of course. Let us go. Let us go to the. I have the perfect room. Follow me. That'll lead you around at the bottom floor of the house. That'll lead you to a small, it's like a 3x3 room. And I'll make this room. It's empty right now, but this should be a well enough room. I apologize about the heat, as this is going to be my future incubation room, but this will give us enough privacy right now.
That is fine. I do wish to ask one thing of you. Two things, actually. I would like some grease.
I'm not even going to ask you why, but I can get you. Do you want standard or premium?
Standard is fine, thank you.
Soviet, how much do you need? I have a big big barrel of oil sitting in my garage.
Just enough for basic gear maintenance. No more than, I'd say, 3 ounces.
So be it. And what was that second question?
Don't tell anyone.
My snout is silent.
Thank you. And I will turn and I will walk out of the incubation room.
Just kind of stand there, and just kind of about a minute later, I'll come out and come sit down. I'll just look at Ilamathre and nod and say, "Well, shall I show you to your rooms?
Please.
Please follow me, and I will lead you guys upstairs." I look back at Ilamathre, and I'm like, "You should probably take your shoes off."
Then I must wait until you come back.
Okay, Raven, please follow me upstairs.
All right.
I as we walk upstairs, you'll see a bunch of portraits, a bunch of paintings going up the staircase wall, just authentic picture paintings from artists around the city. And as we get to the top of the stairs, I open the first room on the right. I'm like, this room shall be suitable to your needs, and it's a full room, has a desk, has a wardrobe. It's a very very much more of a higher class bedroom. I'm sure this shall meet your needs, right?
I suppose it will.
Perfect. I will leave you be. There is a bathroom just down the hall. It is directly down the hall, first door. Like when you come out of your room, it's the first door on the very back wall. And with that, I'll take my leave and go downstairs to Ilamathre, and I'll just kind of nod my head to follow me.
I will follow.
I lead you to the garage, and I repeat the process of dunking my measuring cup in the oil. I fill it, so I fill about a 3-liter measuring cup, and I just kind of look at you, and I'm like, "Do you need a rag?"
No, I should be fine. Thank you.
Okay, just
And she is going to move part of her dress, and you catch a glint of gold on her leg.
do I even dare ask what that gold is?
That is my leg. And I will lift up part of my the lower like skirt end of my dress to reveal to you a prosthetic clockwork limb that looks like it was made from solid gold.
That must be one expensive leg, and I'll hand you the measuring cup of oil. Take what you need from here. Just dump what you don't use back in the drum, please.
Thank you.
I will take my leave, as it is very improper for. I should leave the lady alone while she takes care of business.
I appreciate it.
Your room
And
will be
please
the
keep
first
this
up.
between us.
This will be between us, and your room is the first room on the left when you get upstairs.
Thank you.
And I'll take my leave.
After Dre leaves, I will do some basic maintenance on the clockwork gears in my leg. And then when it appears that most people have gone to their respective rooms, I will take off my shoes and my foot at the bottom of the stairs, and I will walk up the stairs as best as I can.
Alrighty. And what about Gerard? Where's Gerard spending the night?
After he puts himself back together, he
Does
would.
Does Gerard sleep?
I do not require the full amount of sleep that the rest of you do, although I do need to power down and be sedentary for about 4 hours.
Well, if you would like a private room, I have one more room to spare, or I have this very open living room for you. And I think if you need power, there's a couple power outlets in this room.
Thank you, but I am self-sustaining. I will not require the outlets. However, I think it best I rest down here. That way, once my rest and deactivation is over, I can keep an eye on the lower half of the house.
Works for me.
And I wish you a good night.
You have a good power down.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Crap, I have an update.
Oh, yeah, 10.
What
Cut off
iOS
too many times.
iOS are you currently on?
Please
Oh,
update
okay.
to Windows XP.
No.
Windows Fiesta is updating.
Oh no.
Alrighty. Normally we'd keep going a little longer, but this is a really good pause point.
Yeah,
So how does everybody feel about just calling it a night here?
I'm cool with
we're
that.
done.
I'm good with that.
All right. Thank you guys. This was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I am having a blast playing with you guys. It is
Same.
so much fun.
I'm loving it. I'm loving our party dynamic already.
It's a good
Sounds
group.
Me too.
Standard or premium is just oil. Is just going to be it's just going to be a
That's gonna
standard now.
Yeah.
Just ask Gerard that for everything.
Standard or premium, Gerard?
Yeah, it's gonna just be a thing now.
What exactly is a premium apple?
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. Bye, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you all so much
Thanks for
for
watching.
sticking
Yeah.
with us tonight and listening
I don't
in.
have
It was
anybody that I know
great.
of that I can rate out to.
Shout out to all of you amazing people that are here to support us. Honestly, I mean, it's
Yeah.
we're having a great time. It's so great to have you here, and
Mhm.
tune in for the next one.
Yeah.
Weeks.
2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Weeks.
All right,
back.
sounds good.
Bye.
Later,
Bye.
guys.